Welcome back to the next part of Xenosaga. I hope you have stuck with me so far, as it does get very, very interesting in just a small while. Anyway, we're about to get a surprise visit from someone. Who could it be?
Chief!
Alan?
What do you mean, Alan? Don't act so surprised. Didn't you forget something important? You know, it's dangerous wandering around in a daze like that.
Yeah. Sorry. I was just thinking about something.
You always are, Shion.
Are you alright?
Huh? Yeah. I'm just not myself today.
I'm Bob Jones. That's a phrase I never get. I'm just not myself today. Well, little girl, what are you doing here?
Alan, thanks for stepping in back there.
No. I should have spoken to the new guy earlier, so you don't need to thank me. But it would really help if you would try to understand their feelings more. I know everyone's still a little uneasy about Cosmos, but they've been pouring their hearts and souls into this project. They all want to see with their own eyes the end results of what they've been working so hard to complete. I feel the same way myself, you know?
I know that. It's just that
Chief, the incident, right?
Huh? Oh, I see. You're... Sorry, that's not quite it. Forget about it. It's nothing. Let's just hurry up and get Cosmos completed, okay? Oh. Who could that be?
More Realian maintenance? They really should stop calling you all the time. Technically, it's a violation of regulations for you to deal with other divisions. Besides, aren't they expecting you on the bridge?
Oh, don't worry about it. I don't want to brush them off. Besides, it's on the way, and I've got some time. See ya.
Oh. Ugh. I forgot to ask her out after work.
Ah well. Shion appears really weird, especially in here, and I mean, people in the series don't tend to like her character much. They just don't seem to see it. Oh, what the hell? What was I erring about? Anyway, I've missed something because of the cutscenes. Anyway, she's so funny. Why won't this thing work properly? Trust me, dear, you don't want that thing to work properly. What does this guy want? Wait a minute, you're from Vector, aren't you? And you're a scientist, right? My colleague's in the back. Could you please try reasoning with him? He won't come out. He's just become cooped up. Where in the back is he? Ah, here we go. Did you know several workers lost their lives during the retrieval? I saw it. When they touched that thing, they vanished instantaneously. Is it really okay to transport something so dangerous out in the open? Well, we're about to find out, aren't we? Ooh, foreshadowing. Anyway, you want to walk through here, through the explosion canisters, because let's face it, that's the best place to walk through. They're fixing an elevator with explosion canisters. To me, that never seems like a good sign. I don't know. Generally, explosions isn't... Anyway, there's speak to the orange guy in the hangar. Well, there's loads of orange guys. You're hiding. Believe me, I would. He seems like a royal prick. Okay, if it's quick. Sure, that's fine. Agree with him and he'll give you, like, Namco's entertainment sort of stuff. Namco basically put, like, things for games in here. Right, okay. Bingo. Done. That was that. That was easy. I completely forgot about that on my way out. Well, I didn't actually pass him, so I didn't realise he was there. Making excuses again for dragging out this game to me even longer than before. Fantastic. So yeah. luckily the running speed in this game isn't too bad. I mean, and the draw distance is fantastic. I mean, I love the way they blur it as well. Anyway, what's this girl want to speak to us about? Shafted again. Okay, well this is a funny thing to do before we go there. Our room's just down there, one of the only rooms in the entire place. Okay, well let's make sure if he's actually sure that he'll stay calm. Let's go in here. Well, there's a big flashing red button, so please don't mess with it. Hey, we're scientists. It's our job to mess with things and press buttons that are big red and say do not press for the scientific outcome. See, if he was smart, he would have got out of the way. See, this gives you time. And let's wait for them to open as well, because I would need to get through there.
Bulkhead lockdown deactivated. The passageway will now open. Please use caution near the opening doors.
Yeah, because you know, if some part of the ship's got blown up, those doors are going to open and you're going to get sucked straight out. He's in a cowering lump. Let's go talk to him. Oh, fail pie. Maybe fail sauce. Anyway, number 18. That's glad we've discovered that one. We should get an email from Miyuki shortly. Anyway. Whoops, I passed it. What the heck am I doing? Whoops, I'm going to speak to someone. Let me speak to them. Miss Uzuki, do you know anything about the Gnosis? Not really. Well, that's because we don't. I do. Did you know the Gnosis can appear anywhere and everywhere, even in space or inside the ship? Just think about it. It makes me so scared I can't sleep. I haven't gotten decent sleep ever since I got assigned on this ship. Yeah, they can. But talking to some people, they seem to believe they're more of a sort of a fairy tale, and they're not a threat. That's the one problem with the beginning of this game, is they paint two different pictures out. Some people believe they're real, and some people believe that they're fake, and they don't really exist. Which is kind of annoying. Okay, we'd like to rest. Actually, no. I'd like to, well, save the game first. And some people think they're not. And they make I've done it again. They make two different sort of sides of that story, and it confuses you, because if they're building an anti-Gnosis weapon system, then it's got to be somewhat dangerous. But if people don't know about it, it makes you think the government are hiding the threat, so people aren't as scared. And it's been a natural phenomenon for quite a long time, the Gnosis appearing. So it's unusual. I'm not quite sure which way to think. Anyway, I apologise for the length of this. The problem with this game is the beginning is so slow, but as soon as it gets going, it never really stops, which is why it's fantastic. We've got the maintenance stage. Let's head down. Oh, an email from Miyuki. Miyuki's our friend in the 2nd Division. Shion, how you doing? Thanks for the WMS, the weapon that you used in your left hand during battle. Data from the test ran alongside Cosmos and the Encephalon. I've moved one step forward with my magnificent plans thanks to you. Now the only thing I need is a real test. So I've sent you the real MWS. It should reach you soon. If the Gnosis attack now, they're so dead. Doing these tests provides a bit of aerobic exercise and may even have some weight loss effects. So in a way, it's like you're killing two birds with one stone. Please make sure you pick it up when it arrives. Miyuki. P.S. I lost 3 kilograms, you see? It works just like I said. The apple diet really works. Oh, Miyuki is fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. She's a heel heap of laughter. I have no idea, Shion. I don't think any of us have any idea. Anyway, the graphics are fantastic, but that's because they're in the doll anime style, which I can't confess to absolutely adore. I'm generally not a fan of it, but nonetheless it's there, and I'm not going to criticise the bollocks out of it because they did a pretty good job with the PS2. I mean, this game is pushing. Okay, Realians. They do explain what Realians are here, so I'm not going to do it. So, did I just sigh then? That wasn't relevant to anything. We're about to see a new interesting character called Lieutenant Virgil, who I absolutely adore as a character.
Hello, you rang?
My apologies, Miss Uzuki. It seems we're constantly in need of your help.
No problem, Lieutenant. I want everyone to be healthy and happy too, after all. So, what's the problem today?
Well, I'm trying to teach them some new battle algorithms to better reflect the unit's reorg. But the integration is not going very smoothly.
You're right. He's rejecting the data. Let's see.
Apparently tapping the enter key works. I must try that at some point. Now here they're going to start explaining about Realians, as we're in a Realian infirmary. Now, obviously you want to know what they are before you start harping on about them. Now they're integral to the story of Xenosaga. Now, let me explain why. The Realians are artificial humans. They're a wonder of molecular bioengineering. Its biological composition comes in various forms based on need, from carbon-based duplicates of real humans to those based on silicon or liquid metal. Many of the Realians on board the Woglinde were made by Vector, and they are hybrid models with carbon/silicon base. Since the Miltian conflict, the alteration of Realians' emotions is no longer allowed. The only exceptions are for Realians in the military or other dangerous occupations, such as terraforming. Their basic rights equal those of humans and are recognized by law. However, due to the fact their minds are initialized with a slight bias, all Realians tend to display similar personality traits. This bias is applied not only for the purpose of preventing criminal behavior by Realians, but also in consideration of humans who may feel threatened by their superiority, albeit in only certain specialized skills. Several companies manufacture Realians, but Vector make the base program, in other words the central nervous system, of all Realians. This program is essentially a black box. Any modifications beyond regular maintenance and adjusting can only be done by Vector. Now here we mention Miltia as well. The planet where the war that came to be known as the Miltian conflict took place. Miltia is also Shion's birthplace. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Miltian Charter, what does that mean? It's basically a body of Federation laws enacted after the Miltian conflict. What was the Miltian conflict? The Miltian conflict was a war constantly referred to throughout the episode. An outbreak of hostilities began 14 years ago and ultimately dragged the entire Federation into it. The name originated from the fact that the territory of Miltia, where Shion was born, was the site of the most vicious battles. That's what exactly happened in the Miltian conflict. That story will have to wait, and that story is covered in Xenosaga 2 and 3, and is immensely integral, so don't forget about it just yet. Let's see, we need to check the Realians lying on the maintenance beds, right? Thank you for your help. Well. I do like this concept. Let's talk to this girl over here. Because she's not Realian, but nonetheless I'm talking to her. Just born. Always makes you think, what the heck? There's another girl who ran off, but this one is in different clothing. I love this little section. There's so many funny things. Let's talk to this guy. This girl, sorry. You still just treat them like robots in a way. Stress eventually gets to them. Basically, they're the same as infants. Interesting. Very interesting. Sort of this girl. Lately I find functional impediments occurring when communicating with a certain person. My pulse becomes rapid, perspiration increases, and I become unable to articulate well. That's odd. I wonder if that's an OS bug. I'm sure at Vector you must have a larger and more sophisticated tuning department. In the army, Realians become a more vital part of the force. Blah-de-blah. Let's talk to this girl again. It doesn't hinder your normal duties. No, as long as I don't come into contact with that person. The abnormalities do not seem to occur. Who could it be? Is it a person spreading a virus or something? So who is this person? Alan, a member of the first R&D. What? Alan? Yes, I feel lightheaded whenever I see Alan. Become confused and slightly embarrassed. I become unable to converse normally. You seem to have some interesting symptoms. I see, she has a crush on Alan. I guess it just means that many other higher-ups think the army is disposable. Well, they are kind of disposable tools, and people do think them as such. What does this girl want? Phew, this is my second all-nighter in a row, my 9th cup of coffee. Ouch. Well, I'll remember that when my complexion gets fucked up. I wonder what's wrong. Your brainwaves seem to be chaotic. Ever since I was assigned to the Woglinde, I haven't been the same. I'm slowly lost mental composure, and my body is going to manifest minute spasms. Fear of battle. Very. I love the way they do that. Anyway, that's that done.
Well, I've made some adjustments, but please contact 3rd Division once we return. I recommend they receive more intensive counseling soon.
I'll be sure to do so. You know, I'm really impressed. Providing Realian psych support on top of developing Cosmos? I hear even specialized counselors have a hard time...
Oh, I'm just making the most of what my mentor taught me. I'm glad I could be of help. Besides, I always wanted to work in the 3rd Division. Actually, I'm thinking about requesting a transfer once my current work's finished.
But Vector's first R&D division has the best researchers in the organization. Everyone knows not just anyone can get in there. Are you sure that you want to transfer?
Oh, yes. Besides, my family's always asking, how did you get assigned to the 1st Division? There must have been a mistake in the paperwork. Who knows? Maybe they're right. Besides, I want to learn so much more about them.
Who's that just
What's
entered?
learning about them going to do for you?
Oh, I love him so much.
Lieutenant Virgil.
Their stench.
What?
It reeks. I can't get their rotten odor out of my system. Can't you smell it? It makes me sick to my stomach.
Huh? What are you...
That's enough. You got your orders from the Lieutenant Commander, didn't you? One of the goals of this operation is to enhance combat support between the eggs and the new model Realians. And yet you're...
Support? Huh. In a battle against them? The last thing I want to worry about is supporting a bunch of untested, weapons-grade Realians.
Excuse me, but these people are highly qualified soldiers.
These people? You're treating equipment like people?
Oh, you really shouldn't say things like that. These people have the same intellect and emotions as us. And the Miltia Charter clearly spelled out the basic human rights of Realians when it was ratified in 4763.
What a load of crap. Get off your soapbox. You act noble and preach about humanity, but in the end, they're just equipment as far as your company's concerned. Or maybe more like merchandise.
We don't treat them anything like equipment or merchandise.
Then why do you categorize them as weapons-grade Realians? How much more evidence do you need than that? Whatever you care to call them, they're nothing but tools of warfare. Besides, I know your little secret. You guys have an emergency override code to control them, don't you?
Virgil! Why are you...
Huh? What do you want?
It is as you say, sir. We are manufactured as merchandise and raised accordingly. However, I take great pride in what I do now. And this pride was not forced upon me. It is of my own free will.
Free will, huh? Well, good for you. You'd better just enjoy it while you can. The time will come soon enough when you'll realize what's going on. Just you wait.
Is he a DME addict?
Mentioned here was Vector 3rd R&D Division. This is one of the 3 core R&D divisions of Vector Industries. Its sole purpose is to oversee the development, production, training, and distribution of Realians. Though her motives were unknown to others, Shion apparently requested a reassignment to this division. Counselor, a specialized doctor responsible for maintaining the physical and mental health of Realians. The standards for qualification in this field are higher than the other medical professions. Therefore, it is one of the more challenging occupations, kind of like how you need more to be a vet than a doctor, I seem to believe. However, the unabated high demand for counsellors has resulted in the proliferation of temporary maintenance stations for Realians. Most counsellors work in the companies which manufacture Realians. First Lieutenant Virgil, born TC 4735, age 32 years old. A First Lieutenant of the Galaxy Federation Marine Corps and a brilliant Aegis pilot. He is afflicted with DME addiction, which is caused by the consumption of Realian body tissue, as evidenced by the condition of his facial skin. Weapons-grade Realians. A Realian specially modified for combat. Their senses and physical abilities are better developed than those of regular Realians. They are also designed to operate for longer periods of time in the battlefield, and their emotions have been modified so that fear, or other feelings detrimental to combat, will not surface. Although Realians in general are designed not to feel fear, there are occasional anomalies. Although the Realians' weapons appear similar to those used by humans, the caliber of their weaponry is comparable to that of a tank-mounted gun, and they fire reinforced ammunition. Emergency override code. Secret codes used to control a Realian's emotions or the actions that result from them. These codes are easily executable via connection gear. However, due to the power they exert over Realians, whose basic human rights are legally recognized, the use of these codes is limited to an emergency-only situation. Only members of Vector's 3rd R&D Division and a limited number of other employees know of their existence.
My apologies, Ms. Uzuki. He wasn't always like that. But then, something happened.
Is he an old acquaintance?
We were classmates at the military academy, and I've been stuck with him since then. It was Miltia.
I see. So, that's why.
You knew about that, huh? Then again, anyone planning to join the 3rd Division would know.
Well, I'm from Miltia.
Huh?
Of course, no one's allowed to go there anymore. My family moved to 2nd Miltia when they transferred the capital after the war. And my brother still lives there alone.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring back painful memories.
Oh, it's all right. After all, it's something we must never forget about. For our sake and theirs as well. Oh no! I forgot I had to report to the bridge. Sorry, I'll come back to check on them later. Bye!
DME addiction. An addiction which results from the consumption of Realian body tissue. The blood vessels carry the ingested tissue, mainly from the central nervous system, to the brain, which results in neural structural changes. The physical and mental states are then altered, but occasionally this results in death when an allergic reaction occurs. Once the brain has undergone an alteration, the addict must continue to consume new Realian tissue to avoid withdrawal symptoms, thus necessitating a drug-dependent intervention. There is as of yet no complete cure, since the consumed Realian tissue grows and mutates along with the host's neural networks. In some corners of the galaxy beyond the reaches of the Federation's control, there is an active black market for Realian tissue, as a new form of recreational narcotics. The external symptoms of this addiction include hardening and cornification of the skin. 2nd Miltia, planetary capital of the current Miltian Autonomous State Government. The planet is 13,200 kilometers in diameter, with a gravity ratio of 1.03. It was only recently terraformed, so it still has an abundance of forests. The atmosphere-generated nanomachines within the ocean are still active, causing the planet to appear a light green from space. Shion's parents' home is located here. Anyway, there is now something really important we must do to get a chain in motion. Now we're outside, we must head straight back in. And head south. Keep doing so, and you should get an email. This is the email you must get, and if you don't get this now, it ruins everything. Read the email. Please excuse the sudden email. I am Angropper from the Vector and blah blah. You can read this if you want, I'm just going to quickly scroll through. Currently we're tracking an intruder who has hacked into the 2nd R&D Division's imaginary machine cluster. You find out who this is, don't worry. Yeah, its imaginary machine cluster is a calculation apparatus that connects laterally to a group of imaginary processors utilizing the UMN resources. So it uses the UMN as sort of the cloud computing, if you will. The cluster is called Mercury and is located with its own system called Harbak. Mercury was hacked a month ago and has restored the log file records. However, they indicated the intruder has invaded the 2nd R&D machines cluster 5 months earlier that we had realized. The intruder as always demonstrates the same behavior, logging 1 every 216 hours and signing off within 3 minutes. This coincides with the timing of the intervals of the suspension of the 496 processors among the 2060 structural units. I pretend I'm going to understand that. The intruder connects parallel to the 4,096 unused clusters and uses the imaginary machine cluster for only 2 minutes. This intruder processes administrative privileges to the machine cluster and is impossible to disconnect him from the terminal. The reason being is that if he aborts before all commands have been received, Harbak itself begins to act up due to viral infection and spread prior to boot up. Even we have tried conducting research using quantum algorithms to no avail, because the 60 nodes between the connection routes, 60 times 10 to the power of 28, got obstructed by variable type dummy routes. We've considered isolating Mercury, but even that wouldn't have to be a complete resolution to the problem, because the intruder would probably try to hack our different machine cluster. Our only option is to capture the intruder. The intruder's motive was not to see the CPU's loading conditions, but to use the calculator itself. A large... This is ridiculous. This is 22 minutes. This is ridiculous. A large quantum inference system inferred the numbers, the intruder's goal at 73.48% probability rate to have something to do with the creation of a large AI engineered to destroy. I wonder who that is. Well, I do. I don't. You do. We don't know what he would do with a completed AI, or if the intruder himself would even use it. It's just that he was commissioned and locate the things of value. I don't even know how far we've finished. By all means, we'd like to catch the offender while he's still in the middle of calculating something. The issue at hand that only the catch the intruder is to be on lookout for the variable dummy routes in order to identify the terminal he is connecting from. This is nearly impossible to task. If what I heard is true, it is feasible. You, being the smart person you are, probably already know what I'm talking about. That's right, the solution lies within the artificial intelligence that you supposedly developed. I've heard that your AI was to be able to figure out complex routes similar to the ones we faced within a matter of 2 minutes. Ordinarily, AI couldn't pull that off. Makes me wonder if it's really an AI we're dealing with here. If this is true, we may be able to use your AI to pinpoint the intruder's location. We can't allow destructive AI to be completed. We're hoping that we can prevent that with your help. Given your duties at hand, the most serious consideration, which is your appointment to 1st R&D Division, I hear that the tests on the Wuglinde is a task which involves the encephalon. I bet it's incredibly exhausting mentally, because the encephalon is kind of in your mind. I'm aware that you're doing some other tasks during your spare time, so I will leave the decision whether or not you want to accept this request up to you. Of course, you wouldn't be working for free. I promise compensation appropriate to the task at hand. I look forward to receiving a favourable response from you. Lastly, if we don't receive a reply from you, I will assume you did not want to take the task. Vector, Services, and Ropper. That's so confusing. Know how to manipulate the Vector Security Service staff. He's a clever one. Someone may get hurt. I can't believe that AI is being used for no good. I wish everyone respected AI like myself the way you do, Shion. Well, anyway, we're going to reply to this. I will help. 3... No, there isn't a third option. I will help you. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we've sent that reply off. We're going to pick up in the next part of Xenosaga, and I promise these episodes won't be as long as this after we've got out of this area. See you guys then.